There is a town in America where you can buy a house for less than a used Honda Civic. Another town will literally hand you up to $15,000 just to move there. And in one Midwest city, homes regularly sell under $50,000, not auction junk, not condemned property, not a fixer-upper nightmare, actual livable houses. Sounds like a scam, right? That is exactly what I thought. So today, we are auditing the numbers, not the hype, not the Instagram posts, not the relocation influencer telling you life is just better slow. We are breaking down the real cost of living arbitrage hiding in overlooked towns across this country, and we are being brutally specific about the operational reality nobody puts in the brochure. Because yes, these places are cheap, but cheap always comes with a reason. And if you stay until the end of this video, the final town on this list is so financially compelling, you might actually start Googling what their winters feel like. Let us dig in. Clarksdale, Mississippi. Median home price around $85,000. Rent often under $800 a month. Here's the thing. If you work remotely or you are retired, your housing costs in Clarksdale feel like they got stuck in 1998, and that is not an insult. That is a financial oasis hiding behind delta humidity and country roads. But here is what nobody tells you. There are few major employers here. Healthcare access is thinner than in any metro area you have been used to, and the job market is not exactly staging a comeback. Translation: you bring your own paycheck, or this town does not work for you. Picture yourself in Clarksdale. You own your home outright. Your mortgage payment is lower than most people's car note, and the loudest sound at night is crickets. For the right person, that is not a consolation prize. That is the whole point. Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Homes regularly sell between $60,000 and $80,000. Real talk, investors have been quietly buying rental properties here because yields can exceed 10%. 10%? That number would make a Wall Street fund manager uncomfortable. The demand dried up when industry left, but the buildings stayed standing. The catch is hard to ignore, though. Crime rates run higher than the national average, and economic momentum is slow enough that you will feel it. Picture yourself in Pine Bluff collecting rent from a property you paid $70,000 for, while someone in San Francisco is spending that amount in a single year just on rent. The cognitive dissonance is real, and in this case, it is working in your favor. Cairo, Illinois. Homes under $40,000. This is not a typo. Cairo once had a population of 15,000 people. Today, fewer than 2,000 remain. Supply so massively overwhelms demand that the pricing has entered territory that looks almost fictional. Here is the thing. When you buy here, you are not just buying a house. You are betting on a comeback story that may or may not happen in your lifetime. Flood risk is real. Infrastructure is a legitimate concern. The septic systems and building codes in older unincorporated areas of southern Illinois require due diligence that most buyers skip. But picture yourself in Cairo. Historic brick buildings, quiet streets, a town that feels frozen in time. If you are a speculative investor with patience, this is either a ghost of what it used to be or the most patient play in your portfolio. That determination is yours to make. Detroit, Michigan. The citywide median sits around $90,000, but land bank homes, actual city-owned properties, can be purchased for under $10,000. Real talk, Detroit is the most block-by-block city in America. 5 minutes in the wrong direction, and you have gone from a renovated loft with equity to a street with 3 abandoned homes and property taxes that feel like a practical joke. But here is what nobody tells you. Property taxes in Detroit are notoriously high relative to assessed value, meaning your cheap house carries an ongoing cost that erodes the arbitrage faster than people expect. Translation: pick the right zip code and you are early to something real. Pick wrong and you are a cautionary tale. Do your homework here more than anywhere else on this list. Johnstown, Pennsylvania. Median home around $65,000. Steel industry collapsed. Demand cratered. The town stabilized at a lower economic equilibrium, and what you are left with is housing so affordable it borders on boring. Here is the thing. Boring is underrated. Picture yourself in Johnstown, sipping coffee in a paid-off home while you watch the snow fall, and your stress level sits somewhere near zero. The housing stock is older, the winters are heavy, and upward mobility is limited. Translation: financially peaceful, not financially exciting. Gary, Indiana. Homes often under $60,000. Gary has a reputation that precedes it, and that reputation is not entirely unfair. But here is what nobody tells you. Proximity to Chicago creates genuine long-term speculative upside that most people dismiss without running the actual numbers. You are talking about a Lake Michigan waterfront city within commuting distance of one of the 5 largest metro economies in America. Certain areas require heavy renovation. Due diligence on building codes and structural integrity is non-negotiable here. Translation: high risk, potentially high reward. Real talk. This is not a play for the emotionally fragile. But if you are a cold-blooded auditor of financial opportunity, Gary deserves a second look before you write it off. Macon, Georgia. Median home around $140,000, still dramatically below the national median. A college presence gives the local economy a stabilizing pulse that purely industrial towns lack. Atlanta proximity helps with employment access for hybrid workers. The catch is southern humidity that makes you question your life choices from June through September, and income levels that run below most major metro hubs. Translation: affordable charm without metropolitan salaries. Picture yourself in Macon, historic homes, slower pace, Friday night community events, instead of overpriced nightlife. If your income is portable and your lifestyle expectations are calibrated, this is a retirement cheat code hiding 2 hours south of Atlanta, Topeka, Kansas. Median home around $155,000, and here is the part that stops people mid-scroll. Through employer partnerships, Topeka has offered relocation incentives of up to $15,000 to new residents. They are actively recruiting remote workers and skilled talent. They want you there. But here is what nobody tells you. Tornado country is not a metaphor. It is a building codes conversation, an insurance premium conversation, and a basement construction conversation all at once. Translation: they will pay you to live somewhere quieter. Picture yourself in Topeka, wide skies, affordable housing, predictable lifestyle, and a check in your pocket just for showing up. The gold standard of affordability for remote workers willing to trade skyline views for actual financial breathing room. Buffalo, New York. Median home around $210,000, which sounds high until you remember this is New York State, where that number elsewhere will buy you a parking space with ambitions. Waterfront redevelopment is real. Infrastructure investment is real. The upside trajectory here is more legitimate than most people give it credit for. The lake effect snow, however, is not a joke. It is weather that makes you question your life choices approximately 4 months a year. Translation: cold winters, warm financial math. Picture yourself in Buffalo building equity in a historic home, while your counterpart in Brooklyn burns through the same money on rent with nothing to show for it. Hutchinson, Kansas, Danville, Illinois, Youngstown, Ohio. These 3 deserve a collective mention because they represent the purest version of what this video is really about. Medians ranging from $70,000 to $135,000. Stable agriculture, former manufacturing bases, and population shrinkage that has created a supply surplus so extreme that you are essentially accessing 1970 pricing in 2025. Real talk, these are boring enough to make your bank account genuinely happy. Here is the truth. Affordable living did not disappear. It relocated. It moved to smaller towns, to former industrial cities, to places that Google Maps shows you, but Instagram never does. These towns are not cheap by accident. They are cheap because of economic stagnation, weather extremes, or cultural isolation that the market is priced in. But here is the thing. If you bring portable income, whether that is remote work, retirement funds, or a rental strategy, the cost of living arbitrage can flip in your favor faster than you expect. But here is what nobody tells you. Cheap housing can still be expensive housing if you skip the research. Always audit block-level crime data before you commit. Understand property tax rates because some of the most affordable median home prices on this list carry tax burdens that erode your savings over time. Visit for at least a week before relocating. Inspect septic systems and unincorporated land boundaries. Stop paying for a lifestyle you cannot afford in a city that does not need you. Sometimes boring is profitable. Sometimes a ghost of what it used to be is exactly what your balance sheet needs. And sometimes the smartest financial move you make is the one that nobody at your dinner table understands. If you want more investigative breakdowns like this, subscribe, because the best opportunities are almost always hiding in plain sight.